So I was going to call and find out how Oni's doing. Is he any better?
Well, Johnna was supposed to bring him over to dinner, but the poor little thing developed a case of the colic. He's not worse, is he, Ginny?
No, he's good.
Oh.
That's the good news, but there is bad news. Look, Lizzie's father, Harlan, showed up. He wants custody of Oni.
What are you talking about?
After all this time?
Well, he's been searching for him for a while, and he's driving John all crazy, scaring him to death.
Jill, will you please tell me what good news there can be in that fact?
Listen, Fern, you tell your mom and dad, okay? Excuse me for a second.
Well, it seems that John was going to take off with Oni one night, and Jill stopped him, talked some sense into him. Now the boy's ready to stay and stand his ground against this guy Harlan Ransom, go to court, and fight for custody of his son.
Of course.
Anything else, just give me a yell.
Dakota, can I talk to you?
Like, I'm kind of busy. I got other things
No, wait
to
a
bring
minute.
up.
Please, don't do this, okay?
What are you talking about? Don't what?
Treat me like a stranger, like an enemy.
Look, I guess I'm not very good at this. You're not an enemy. I don't know how I'm supposed to treat you, Jill. My gosh, it was only last week we were together.
I know that.
Well, don't you think that makes for a pretty sticky situation?
It does, but it doesn't have to. Look, I know it's hard for you to understand, but do you think you could forgive me?
I don't have to forgive you for anything. There's nothing to be sorry for. You just don't love me anymore. I'll work it out.
Dakota. Look, I may have left you. I may have realized that we don't belong together, but it doesn't mean that I don't care about you. I'll always care about you. You know that. I just thought maybe we could be...
Friends?
Something like that.
Well, I don't know. This is pretty tough, and I don't really know what I can do about it. But I'm happy for you. The only thing I ever really wanted for you was to be happy, right?
Dear, somebody trying to take John O's baby away from us.
Not from us, Johnny has two parents.
Well, I thought it was clearly understood that John O was going to be the one to raise the boy up. Thank you very much, dear.
Oh, no, John, don't be unfair.
Oh, she had to go opening her mouth. I mean, that girl has a never-ending supply of monkey wrenches to throw into our lives.
Just wasn't conscious of the consequences, John.
Is that right? Well, if that girl hadn't gone and called that children's hotline, they wouldn't know where Oni was.
She didn't realize.
Of course she realized it. Or maybe she didn't. That girl never realizes the consequences of her actions on other people's lives, does she?
Don't be so hard on her. You know what she's up to today, don't you?
No idea.
She has a luncheon appointment with some prospective backer. She has some mind to go into some kind of business, I don't know what. She was clear out of dresses, so she asked to borrow something of mine. I don't know what was in my closet that could possibly impress anybody. Am I talking to myself here?
Why don't... Sorry, Lydia. She's thinking about Dakota. What he must be feeling, seeing Jill and Frank back together again.
I'm sure he's feeling a lot of pain, just as Francis did when he watched Gillian with him.
Yeah. Well, you never know it when you're looking at him. I mean, he showed a lot of class just then.
What he showed is that he finally knows what it means to be John Ryan's son.
Well, Lydia, I can't take any credit for the lad. I wasn't there when he was growing up, learning how to behave.
A person doesn't stop growing just because they've reached their full height, John. You did teach him. You taught him just by your own example of what it means to be part of a family. He now knows that the happiness of others might just be a little more important than his own.
Roger, do I really look all right?
You dazzle me. That is an incredible outfit.
Well, I may be dazzling on the outside, but inside I am being torn to shreds. Roger, what if you had a grandson? Well, by the time you have a grandson, you're probably going to be half dead and half blind. All right, well, what if you had a son, and you saw this son on TV, and they said he was missing, and he was going under an entirely other name. Now, wouldn't you want to straighten out that horrible mistake?
Dee, we have been all over this in minute detail.
I know, but I had the latest details, and it's about your sister. Your sister is completely trying to bulldoze me, Roger. I mean, she is trying to assume my role as grandmother and his mother, and she's asking John all these personal, embarrassing questions. He was almost crying. I think Maeve and Johnny at this point would be really hip to her phoniness.
Look, Dee, I'm really not going to sit here while you badmouth Jill, okay? So why don't we just talk about what we came here to talk about? Your new business idea?
My new business idea?
Yeah. And since I'm responsible for getting Skylar here so you can liberate him from his money, a little clue would not be amiss. So what is this new business venture, Ms. Crane?
One clue. What you see is what you get.
Isn't that illegal in this town? Clothes?
Roger, not just clothes. Antique clothing, Victorian whites and laces, flapping flounces of the 20s, satin slinkies of the 20s. Roger, they are hiding out in basements and attics and trunks all over the world. Roger, nostalgia is now. It's eclectic. It's esoteric. It's effervescence. It's Celia.
Do you have a direct source?
Well, sure. I mean, there are scads of second-hand shops on 2nd Avenue.
Yeah, but you can scratch around those places for weeks before we come up with 1 or 2 dresses that are worth big bucks.
Well, I could, but I don't have to. I have the mother lode.